Igbo mmamanu. Igbo rienu. Igbo zuonu. Igbo kwezuonu. You know, when you were, it seems, I don't know if majority of our people already met with Sowore somewhere, because the way you address him is like you have already endorsed him. You address him as His Excellency, which means you have already endorsed him. Yes. We are going to present Kola Nut. Thank you. The presentation of Kola Nut. Igbo mmammalu. Ọ na-abụ ekele kene ọgwụgwụ ekele anụ ngalinga. Anyị ga-omena omenani anyị. Omenani anyị a bụ igosi ọjị. Anyị ga-eme dịka otu anyị si eme ya. Mana na-egbughị oge m prezentichali Ohaneze ma akpọ n'isi enwe ndị a ga-eprezentiri nwe ndị a ga-akpọtụrụ aha maka oge. Ya bụ aga m ebulu oji abụ president Ohaneze bụ Chief Julius Osakwe. Cha Igbo man. Bien. Zwan. This one ono we was goji. State trustees never. Ona afogaji. Imobi. Ona afogaji. Ono. Ihe mere n'obodo aga m ewepụ ọjị president mgbe ị ga-ewepụ ọjị ndị Igbo Chief Ohamadike ọjị nze na ọzọ Emudi ị ga-abịanye aka bulugodo ọjị rubeghị olie our Kola Nut in the Igbo tradition and culture. Kola Nut to start from home, going outside. So we have to acknowledge all our structures the way it's supposed to, accordingly. Then we will come to you. We are not going to give you kola and say touch hand and remove your hand. No, we are going to give you kola. Is it also Welugoji? Yes. Is it in council? Ohaneze Welugoji. Because I last in Abia State, Akono di Noja. Anambra State, Akono di Noja. Delta State, Akono di Noja. Ebonyi State, Akono di Noja. Enugu State, Akono di Noja. Imo State, Akono di Noja. River State, Akono di Noja. Ubu anyị nwa welu chagolu. Anyị ga-ejekwuru ndị agbata obi anyị. Sowore, before I come to you, in Igbo land they say somebody's in-law is his son. Our in-law, even though the bride price, I don't know, we are still talking more on that because it was long. Our in-law, I acknowledge you in this color. Before I can go to no, on the buy welucha. Thank you, Ichie now Sowore. I'm going to present you with Kola Nut. Yes. Come my in-law. You can now present to him. He will take one, you return it to me.
My Excellency? Yes. This is the Kola Nut.
Yes.
Kola Nut for you. That gave me a very lovely wife. I greet all of her. Thank you, sir.
Now, Chief, based on the Igwe make ago. Hey, Igwe, Imananda, hey. Igwe kwalo biko buloji abi Igwe ko weloji. Hey. N'imala adịnna mma mụ na ga abịazi men no mputa. Enwere Igwe ayo ọzọ no ebe a. Na province. Chief Owe from the Bakloko tribe. This scholar will reach home because you are representing His Majesty, the King in the whole Southern Africa, if not the entire Africa, who owns land more than any other king. Over how many million hectares of land he occupies. So take this scholar. When you reach home, you let His Majesty know that we received you when you came. I spoke with His Majesty. He told me, don't give you food. This is better than food. This is not a project. Different African kings. Yes. So I'm the leader in Africa here. Yes. Yeah. We've gone to Nigeria, met with different political leaders as well. Yeah, that is Kola North. When we get there to the kingdom, we will talk more about Kola North. Yes. Because we have a lot of important leaders of our people here. It is not possible that this Kola North will go accordingly 100%. There is Ichie Ugonabo, there is Dr. Akware, there is Chief Amadi, there is Ogbuefi founder, and many others, including our health minister, Dr. Okafo, and many others, and Chief Unachuku, Biko Okwadike, Biko Bulugodu Ojia, Birmo Okwadike Kowepu Oji, Noaha Obionyendu. All oversight. All oversight. Okwadike boalum. Okwadike ndewo. Imane azu ije nolu. O maka fine na nkuto okwu ya. Biko ndị Igbo anyị ga-agọ na ọjị o. N'egbughị oge. Ndị Igbo anyị ga-adị n'o. Ọ ga-adụrụ na anyị na mma, anyị ga-enwe ndụ, anyị ga-enwe arụ ike, anyị ga-akpata akụ na ụba, ụmụ anyị ga-adụ ndụ, ụmụ anyị ga-eto na amamihe, ha ga-akpatakwa akụ na ụba. Afụfụ anyị talụ na mbido ga-adị iche na nke ha ga-ata ha ga-akpata ego, ha ga-akarị anyị mmaji kwuru mmaji ụmụ anyị ga-aka anyị na-asị n'obodo South Africa na ụmụ anyị ga-akụta n'ala na mbọ niile anyị na-agba ịtọ ezigbo ntọala ka ụmụ anyị nwee ike nwee ezigbo ọnọdụ n'obodo a, na mbọ niile anyị na-agba na ọ malakwa n'iyi anyị na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị anyị na mma. Nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Omoyele Sowore na-azọ ka ọ bụrụ onye isi ala Naịjirịa. Anyị sị na ọ bụrụ na ebumnobi ya ga-abịa ichịchịta ọfụma ya gara ya anyị sị biko na ebumnobi ya ọ ga-enwe ịfụnanya ebe ndị ọzọ nọ, ndị niile na-azọkwa ya, ndị niile na-azọ ya bụ ọchịchị. Sọọsọ ife anyị chọrọ bụ onye ga-achị anyị chịta mma. Anyị wee na-asị na ndị niile ya na ya so bụ ụmụnne anyị na ọ ga-adịrị anyị niile na mma anyị na-asị handshake across the Niger. Nne ya Nwodo na ọtụtụ ndị na-achị ndị ụmụnne anyị Yoruba na agbụrụ niile dị iche iche na Southern Nigeria niile na handshake across the Niger na ọ ga-amịta na mkpụrụ maka na ọ bụrụ na Igbo na Yoruba dịla mma, Nigeria niile ga-adị n'udo. Ife Nigeria ji nwee ọgbaghara bụ na Igbo na Yoruba dịrọ na mma. Chineke ga-enye anyị udo, Chineke ga-enye anyị ịfụnanya Chineke ga-agọzi ihe niile anyị tiri aka nke ka nke ife niile bụ ntakasị arụ ndị Igbo na-enwe n'etiti onwe anyị. Anyị na-asị Chineke ga-ewetara anyị udo, wetara anyị arụ ike, wetara anyị agamniru na Eke, Oye, Afọ na Nkwọ n'afa Jesu Kristi bụ eze na-achị Igbo. Ugana bụ ọjị agbakwara n'oji chelu ka mbe ka abịa ọ gbara ịtọ ogidi bụ ogidi ọjị agbara n'ịtọ n'oro yes ife ọ bụ ọjị agbara ịtọ ndị canon lawyer bụ Duke no Trinity yes you will help break the kola nut then. Yes, I'm sure. Onye nwezi ọjọọ ji ya gwa.
The traditional prime minister, Akaji of Igbo, Omoyele. Thank you so much for your blessings.
Thank you.
His Excellency, Mr. Sowore. Okay. Nke a wa gba aka nwa anyị. Ọ ha ka o enwere ibe ba ji befa o ya se.
Dani go no be cha Igbo pon. Igbo pon. Zoro pon. Eze ka su kwezo nu. Biko asana ha gba ka afọ matakịrị eze. Oh, Sowore se je we ya. Andi. Osika ihe a wụrụ oji wee gasị ka okene ndị Igbo. Then we're talking about our in-law. We're talking about our in-laws. For those who might be doubting who is the in-law, how did it happen? This lady here, the honorable, is our daughter, married to this big man here, and she is the coordinator of this Take It Back. So I want to use the platform to give her the floor to introduce herself and why they are here.
Okay, let's shuffle now, guys. Let's shuffle.
Igbo kwenu, rienu, kwezeno. Ndị be anyị ekene m unu. Aha m bụ Chinwenwa Doris Ikeri, nwunye Sholari, coordinator Take It Back team. I'm very, very excited, happy, overwhelmed. Oh no, God bless you, sir. Thank you for doing this. I am so I'm overwhelmed and short of words. Chief, Chief Amadi, may you live long. Amen. I appreciate everybody, all protocols duly observed, without forgetting my wonderful uncle there, Chief Okoye. God bless you, sir. Amen. I thank everybody here. I am overly excited for this. This is a great honor, privilege to have these honorable men and women seated here for the sake of our wonderful arrowhead who wants the advancement of Nigeria. And not to forget my wonderful team, the planning committee of the Take It Back movement. Take it back! Take it back! Take it back! They are wonderful. Without them, I really appreciate these people taking their time, their resource, efforts, just because we want one thing, one Nigeria. Because I know that once our country is good, we will all be happy and willing to go home and do exploits. It is a great pleasure to be before you this afternoon. And without wasting any more of your time, I apologize for coming late. It was not deliberate, but it's for the betterment of our dear and beloved country, Nigeria. I hereby present to you the one you've been asking. You called me his forerunner. I'm proud to be his forerunner because I know he can deliver. With our support, Nigeria will be better. So I hereby present to you a proponent of the African youth, is a very powerful activist, the man who is passionate about the growth and development of Nigeria, the mouthpiece of the oppressed in our society, the one who desires to see a positive change in our country, Nigeria. He is here today to listen to you, to share ideas with you, and to agree with you on how we are moving Nigeria forward. Therefore, I present to you Mr. Omoyele Sowore.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam, Mrs. Doris,
Yes,
we thank you so much. Please, could the owner of this car with registration number ZDP919GP, your attention is needed outside. The owner of the car with the registration number ZDP919GP, please attend to your car outside. His Excellency, initially when I addressed you, I was going to explain the process that we are passing through, because the Kola Nor, in the traditional aspect, it doesn't speak English, and when we pray with the Kola Nor, we do not pray in English. However, it's about blessing. What the traditional Prime Minister has done, what he did was to bless your intention. He prayed for your good intention for the people, and he prayed that the gods will support your good intention and make it materialize. Having said this, we wish to call on the president of Ohaneze, South Africa, Ohaneze Ndi-Igbo, South Africa, for his welcome remark. Chief Julius Osakwe. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
His Excellency Meki, we the members of the Ndi-Igbo, I welcome you to South Africa, and we really support you. We support you and your movement. We're working on this for past weeks when our assistant came to us. So we support you. You're welcome, and you're welcome, please. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a very wonderful short one, and please, anyone that will be called upon to address His Excellency, please be mindful of time because we started early enough. At this juncture, we will need to invite you, His Excellency, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, to address Ndi-Igbo in South Africa. Round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Igbo kwenu.
Yeah.
Igbo kwenu.
Yeah.
Kwezonu.
Yeah.
I am very delighted to be here with you. I'm delighted at the reception. I'm delighted at the fact that wherever we might find ourselves, our culture remains sacrosanct. I have attended events in Igbo land since I started 5 months ago, and I get to meet one of the most important objects of spirituality in Igbo land, which is the Kola Nut. It is true that the Kola Nut speaks only Igbo, but I also found out something about Kola Nut that speaks to Nigeria. It's the fact that Kola Nut is very well grown in Yoruba land. It is worshipped in Igbo land, but it is most chewed by Hausa people. So wherever you go, the Kola has a very important role in our lives. I'm not going to speak for too long because I know a lot of you might have questions and comments and suggestions. I just need to tell you that Nigeria has reached another turning point, and this turning point is very important to people from the southeastern part of Nigeria, because of all the tribes in Nigeria, the southeast, whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, made the most blood sacrifice to keep Nigeria the way it is today. But something has to happen in the next trip into a united Nigeria, so to speak. We must end the war in Nigeria. And the only way to end the war
is to stop voting for people who fought during the war. Because in their head, they are still fighting this war. And I am not saying it to whip up any sentiment. I'm saying it as a basis for my own internal recognition of where Nigeria is. When the war ended, I wasn't born. I was born a year after the war ended. But I have seen what war can do to the psychology of a nation, what war can do to alienate people, and what war can do to divide people. But what is most dangerous is to keep doing business with people who fought during wars, who have not undergone any form of rehabilitation, in my view. And that is why we are where we are today. When I went to the east to visit, I traveled to Onitsha. I went to Aba. I was also in Omoyele. In fact, I visited the War Museum in Omoyele. I also visited the wife of Michael Okpara in his house. And what I saw is what everybody's clamoring for today in Nigeria. Restructure Nigeria, restructure Nigeria. What is needed to restructure Nigeria is to properly include our brothers in the Southeast in what is known as Nigeria today. Because either we like it or not, and I'm not going to hide my feelings to you, a lot of people have mentally seceded from Nigeria. Because Nigeria as a nation has been a failure to both Nigerians and others who have been trying to make Nigeria work or make Nigeria progress and make Nigeria prosper. To the extent that as you are here today, you are all prosperous in your own rights. But step into Nigeria today, that prosperity you are happy about will disappear from you. Because Nigeria doesn't support the prosperity of its own people. Everywhere Nigeria steps out to, Nigerians prosper. It's only inside of Nigeria that Nigerians don't prosper. And the reason is simple. Nigeria is broken because they broke it apart. But every day you listen to radio, you watch television, they are talking about unity of Nigeria. You cannot unite Nigeria without social justice. You cannot unite Nigeria without political justice or economic justice. And those who want to bring about economic prosperity, when you don't give them infrastructure, how would they do that? You go to Aba today in Nigeria, you can get the best shoes to wear on your feet. But we prefer the ones that is made in Italy. Because the man who is making shoes in Aba doesn't have electricity to produce them in mass. The man who is making shoes in Aba doesn't have the roads upon which to drive the products to sell not only in other parts of Nigeria but the entire African continent. And as a result, I decided when we were planning this that she must try everything she can to get me to meet you, because I've met with our people at home and they bring their greetings to you. I want to guarantee you that the young man standing up in front of you is driven passionately by the intention to develop Nigeria and the kind of development that will bring unity to Nigeria. Not the kind of unity that will divide Nigeria as we've been doing for a long time. You have seen the best the current leaders can give us. If you give them another 20 years, you are not going to get better than this. And you all know that even to step out of here in South Africa and go home to your country, you need to fast and pray. Because right from the airport, the evil spirit of Nigeria is haunting you. And these are not spirits, human beings. You see them. They are in customs, immigration. They are putting their hands into your pockets. They are begging you, the moment you step out of the airport, which is one of the worst on the continent of Africa, because somebody might kidnap you on the way. If you don't get kidnapped, the police might shoot you on the way. If you don't get shot, a herdsman who is a known state actor might cross you. That is Nigeria of today. But I'm not telling you this story so as we talk you to let you know or let you realize what you already understand. I'm here to seek your help and support, because in a long time, this is the first time we are having in Nigeria where conversation around politics or political developments are not centered around ethnicity or religion. Otherwise, you wouldn't have received me the way you have received me. You would have been asking me to explain to you how I'm related to Igbo land. And for your information, I'm divulging to you today that my younger brother is actually married to an Igbo lady from Uga in Anambra State. So I'm also your in-law. But in this case, you owe me. The reason is that I'm about to develop Igbo land. Yeah. So the development is not something that we should ethnicize. It's the right of every Nigerian, every human being, to enjoy the fruits of a governance that is all-inclusive. When we provide a second Niger bridge, we are not doing you a favor. When we provide the third one, which will be a highway, a bridge, and a train that is fast-moving, that can take you between Onitsha and Lagos in 3 hours, we are not doing you a favor. We are doing the same thing people here in South Africa have done a long time ago, which you already see is working. Right? We drove all the way from Pretoria to this place. We didn't need to fast and pray. That is why in this part of the world, where we travel out of Nigeria, even our prayer requests start to change. Because when you are in Nigeria, your prayer request is for NEPA to bring light. When you're in South Africa, your prayer request is other things. That is real progress. And also for our brothers and sisters and the chief who are from here in South Africa, we welcome you. And we love you so much. We've always shown love to South Africa and our South African brothers and sisters. Yesterday when I came, I caused a stir and controversy in South Africa. I told them that we are your big brothers in Nigeria. But I must say very quickly that we are the big brothers you have in your family that is a disgrace to the family. I'm not afraid to say that. You know that's your big brother that doesn't have money, doesn't have ambition, is always complaining. That's what Nigeria is to Africa. But that is about to change. And that is why I came to make that statement. That everybody, as soon as Nigeria has this power shift, must start looking up to Nigeria as the real big brother of development and pride. And the same thing will happen to the black race. We are getting there. The final thing I want to say to all of you is that what we're about to experience is what will make our Nigerian democracy solid, original. Every democratic experience or experiment passes through a number of stages. And I've explained somewhere else today. I will seek your indulgence, those of you in the team, to say it here again. The first stage is to start democracy, real democracy. And we started it in 1999 in Nigeria by driving the military out of power. The second stage of democracy is to allow democracy or elections to happen within the circle and rotate not beyond the limits of terms. We did it in 2007 by ensuring that Obasanjo did not continue perpetually in power. And so many people have said that Obasanjo is Igbo, by the way. I'm just kidding. Then the next stage of democracy is to allow those in the population who are disadvantaged to gain advantage in representation. We did it with Goodluck Jonathan, who was a minority person who became the leader of Nigeria. Of course, the next stage is to have a party-to-party transfer of power. In 2015, we did it with a big majority party. I see somebody introduce himself as PDP here. PDP lost power to APC. Stephen Pekin, and APDP is Association Protecting Criminals. That's what they call it. But again, on a serious note, the next stage for all of us is to have a generational shift of power. There's an old generation of leaders in Nigeria that needs to be retired permanently from politics starting from next year, 2019. And that is what we have come to represent. But in doing so, we must put our best foot forward. And it's the reason so many of us are running. And I must say here, just to be humble about it, that I'm not the only person running who represent a new generation of Nigerians. There are others, and we have met with so many of them. But it's up to all of them to also step out and sell their ideas and agenda to the public. But our organization, our movement is the fastest growing movement in Nigeria, perhaps Africa today. Is known as Take It Back movement. And we are all over the world. It's a global movement. I have just completed traveling around all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria and ended up in a place called Sokoto in Nigeria. And we're surprised that, contrary to what you hear, that some of them don't even want democracy. All of them are yearning for a new era so that we can stop hunger, starvation, diseases, and sickness in Nigeria. Now we can stop having leaders who are sick, who are incompetent, who are incapable, and leaders who have no agenda to bring about development. That is what we're about. I will stop here. I don't want to start campaigning too much, knowing that so many of you who are here perhaps know me a little bit. I can hear those people who mentioned my name directly. They know me. I used to, before now, run a website, a news organization known as Sahara Reporters. And my job over the last 12 years as Sahara Reporters has been to engage politically with the Nigerian political elite. And I've taken them on several occasions and fought up to this point. But we cannot continue to allow other people to speak for us. We cannot allow those who don't understand us, who don't care about us, to continue to hijack power and represent us. Most importantly, we cannot allow those who are on the departure lounge of life to drag our destinies down with them to their grave. That is the reason why we decided that this is very, very compulsory, and this outreach is so amazing to us, because it's not just about me standing in front of you today. It's about thousands and thousands of Nigerians who are also connected with us through technology. And what message they gave us to give you is that it is also time to end the analog leadership in Nigeria, because we are entering into a digital era. Thank you so much.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you for the message of hope. From what you've said so far and what we've seen, we believe there's a future, there's a hope. There's hope for our country. Thank you so much. We wish to call on the Chief Host for his response to what you have said to our people. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bring to the stage Chief Jonas Udeji, the traditional Prime Minister of Ndi-Igbo in South Africa. No wakaji of him.
Igbo Mamano, Igbo Kwenu, Igbo Kwezuonu. Firstly, well spoken. Thank you very much. Our people, I greet you. You are gathering today is not unusual. From the history and from what we hear from our fathers and forefathers, Ndi-Igbo have always extended hands of friendship to every other part of Nigeria, including our Yoruba brothers. I remember when Ara Onakakamfo, was it last month or last 2 months, when he arrived, he also had a closed door meeting with our people, though with few representatives. You've spoken well. Unfortunately, the Igbo man have continued to work for some of the local communities, enjoy those developments, those hands of friendship, and the good communal relationship. We noted that in the past, the University College Ibadan, which turned to full-fledged varsity, cannot write their story without Igbo man involved. The Lagos of all the sacrifices we have made in Nigeria, and it seems as if those sacrifices are going down the drain. And hence, a lot of our people, our youths, vibrant ones, have been killed, repeatedly killed. Even when they are not armed, they are killed. And I don't know, because journalism is a part of, actually, when you're on the side of the journalist, you are actually on the right track. We do not know, in your work as journalists, how far you have used that particular platform to bring justice, equity, and fairness, using your media as Sahara Reporter. Because when we reflect on that, it will give us an idea of the kind of president you will be when you take over. Today, one of our sons have been victimized, oppressed, and even killed because we haven't seen him up to today. That person is Nnamdi Kanu. He has never done anything wrongly to Nigeria. He was only expressing his position based on the treatment and the subjugation his people were going through. Up to today, we don't know his whereabouts. And some of you in the field of journalism, we don't know how far you have gone in asking the federal government questions. Where is this young man? I learned you live outside, where there is in a more civilized society. I don't know how you have been able to use your skill to actually defend the freedom of expression of every citizen of Nigeria, knowing that we are equal stakeholder in Nigeria. A lot of people have been killed, but now, recently, the noise that were being made during the time of Jonathan is not even made now that the defenseless citizens of Nigeria from across the whole states of Nigeria are being slaughtered on a daily basis. We don't know how far some of you in that field have gone in trying to let the world know what is happening there. Another one, my brother, which we told Aaron Akakamfo, we had a very good time and he loved it. We told him that we stand by the position of our fathers, Ohaneze Ndi-Igbo, the handshake across the Niger. We reminded him that Nigeria will be good as soon as the Yorubas and the Igbos come together. Because every other minority tribe in southern part of Nigeria is looking forward to Igbos and Yorubas coming together. As soon as they come together, every other part of the south will come together. Every other minority, voiceless minority, or whose voice have been suppressed in other sections of Nigeria, will start now embracing one Nigeria. The Yorubas, their arm's length relationship has caused a lot of damage to Nigeria. It has allowed even the minority part of Nigeria to take charge and continue to oppress the majority. So, my dear brother, we wish you well, but all we are saying is we are still saying the same thing. The Ndi-Igbo to continue to be part of Nigeria is very, very negotiable. It is negotiable because we cannot be slaves in our own country. It can never happen. And when anybody thinks, if anybody thinks, of course, you know, as a professional you are, you understand it more than I do. As a professional you are, you will know that 1967 to 1970 is not the same with 2018 going forward. It's not even the same with 2000 going forward. We are keeping quiet, our people. We are all over the world, as you know. We have all it takes, but we don't want to cause the same mayhem like others. But it doesn't mean that when push come to push, that something different will not happen. We are not going to die like chicken, like our forefathers, our brothers, our sisters, and our uncles who were slaughtered. Worse than what you can do to an animal. We are not going to accept it. We will use our relationship and the skills we have acquired in different parts of the world to bring Nigeria to dust. We will reduce Nigeria to dust. But we are not going to do that. We are still giving room for a progressive, united Nigeria. And that's why even when our people are being killed, we accept it as part of the sacrifice we will continue to make. But all we are saying is that that sacrifice will not remain forever. The earlier we come together, if we want one Nigeria, but what we are not going to negotiate is total restructuring of Nigeria. It's not negotiable. It's either Nigeria is totally restructured, where our father stands, or no Nigeria. We will now decide total separation. Until that, I'm going to allow my leaders to say one or two words, to say something as well. But I want to tell you that we still see, after the genocide, because it's not a civil war, after the genocide, our properties in Yoruba land were still intact. You gave us back our properties. Fajui gave a supreme sacrifice when he was, when Ironsi was captured. He said, instead of killing, I have to die with him. That is the same supreme sacrifice that Jesus Christ made. Now, if the spirit of Ironsi and the Fajui, the Yoruba and the Igbos want those spirits to die in vain, they are crying wherever they are because of the level of acrimony and hatred that exists between the two brothers that are supposed to be one. Some people who answer Omoyele or Kayode or whatever, some of them are Igbos that left Igbo land centuries ago, because Igbo people, when they go out, they don't go back. Just like here, expecting them to relocate to Nigeria is like waiting for a cow to go through the needle or a horse to go through the needle. We don't go back wherever we go. We know that we are in every part of Nigeria. Some people are already answering Bongani here, answering the local name. We don't go back. Some of you, if you trace your originality 300 years back, you will discover that some of you are Igbos. That's why we continue to treat every other person as brothers. And they will continue to do that. But at a time, we are not going to allow our nation to go extinct. And we are not going to run away from our homeland and leave it for anybody to occupy. So we want to advise that the earlier some of you push that the right thing be done in Nigeria, the better for us if we still want one Nigeria. Otherwise, we will now not leave it to some of our youths or some of our people who are crying for this justice. All of us will throw our weight, and if we throw our weight, it is not going to take 1 year. Nigeria will come down to stand still. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Ojiofigbo, thank you for your presentation. Very articulate and straight to the point. We appreciate it. His Excellency, you got the message. We will appreciate if you take notes of all the reactions so that you can address them once off. Yes. Because all the leaders of various structures of our people, they will want to bring up their concerns. Please, I will suggest that anybody that wants to address or make any presentation be mindful of time. In fact, we will allocate 2 minutes to each of the speakers. We will want to call on the former president of Ohaneze Ndi-Igbo, South Africa, Dr. Daniel Akwari, please to address His Excellency. An applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellency in the making, let me stand on existing protocol. First, I have to acknowledge the fact when I first saw you here, you reminded me of my professor in school, Professor Seyo. His hairstyle then. We come to the class and tell her that in Lagos they call this one Fuji garbage. I don't know whether it's still answering the same name. No. Whether they've changed the name. Because
this one is called Showtime.
It's called Showtime. Okay. That's that for Professor Leah. Now, Fuji Garbage and show time, generation gap issue. You can see. Okay. Some days ago, His Excellency in the making, you were in a meeting with other young aspirants, a meeting with area daddy. Is that
area father?
Area father. Hashtag our Mumudon too. I wouldn't want to go into what was discussed in that very meeting, but if you have the luxury of time, you can take us back into what exactly transpired in that very meeting. My question is just going to be very simple. Almost Onowu has epitomized most of the areas we want to ask questions, but for the fact that I've been asked to do this, and I heard you very well. If you take into cognizance not only the demography of Nigeria, how do you intend to take the democratic dividends into this very country, like I say, having at the background the demography of the country, vis-a-vis with the present political quagmire? Because whoever said that Nigeria is not in a crossroad, we must be joking. We almost said into what I may call political hierarchy. Yeah. But like I said, what are your intentions? How do you intend to take us away from this lockdown? Because there's no country that will develop or civilize when lives and properties are being threatened. It chases away investors. We want to know how you intend to handle this. If I don't get a satisfactory answer, I will leave here and start reminding my people that for a very long time there has been Rankadede, Nassau Rock, and KBC has also had their own share. That it's now time for us to begin to say one day, Keite, Nassau Rock, if I didn't get a satisfactory answer. Thank you very much.